That's what I like to hear. All right, today I'm diving into Lost Dell Vipers, a 2022 release and the second full album from the Austin surf rock band, the Dell Vipers. Although there's an additional EP and a single in there somewhere, so take that as you will. Formed in 2010, the Dell Vipers consist of Roy Ott on guitar, David Hawkins on bass, and Sam Rich on drums. One interesting fact about this album is that it is dedicated to Takeshi Terauchi, a Japanese surf guitarist who passed away in 2021. I wasn't familiar with his work beforehand, but I checked out some of his stuff on YouTube, and folks, the dude rocks hard. So I'll share a link to his stuff down below. Now, before I go any further, I'd like for you to take a moment to go like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to click the bell icon, because that is the only way YouTube will notify you when I produce new content. I don't know either, but that's the way they got it set up. So now, with that out of the way, let's talk about Lost Dell Vipers, okay? Folks, this is a solid album. I got to start off with that, with a tight sound and musicians who clearly know what they're doing. From the first track on, they incorporate a diverse array of influences in their songs, and that's apparent with the album's opener, Kohala Bay. So let's take a listen. Now, with a name like Kohala Bay, one immediately thinks of the classic Jamaican rum that formed the backbone of so many Mai Tai cocktails back in the day. Alas, Kohala Bay is no longer made and long since discontinued. But that's not what this track brings to mind at all. Am I right? Okay, honestly, this sounds like a piece composed by Ennio Morricone for one of the Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns from the late 60s and into the 70s. It's got a gritty, dusty edge to it that I associate more with the U.S. Southwest than sun-splashed Caribbean beaches. I don't think an ocarina would be entirely out of place here. It's a fun start to the album and not your traditional surf guitar instrumental. Okay, next up literally is the second track on the album, Nakani no Ikari, which translates to Fury of the South Sea. The song title is taken from the name of the 1966 Ultraman episode, which is as cool as it is obscure. I mean, how many of you watched Ultraman when you were a kid? I mean, it was the closest we could get to Godzilla every week in syndication. Yeah, it was cheesy. I mean, Ultraman was Power Rangers before Power Rangers. So basing this song off of an Ultraman title from way back when is aces in my book. Okay, I kind of suspect this song is a direct tribute to Terauchi, but again, I'm not familiar with his music style to make a declarative statement. So you listen and tell me. Isn't that a banger? I mean, there are motives throughout that are evocative of Japanese traditional music that works so well with the raw energy of this piece. I suppose some might call it cliche. but I don't feel it's so heavy-handed in its use as to I don't feel it is so heavy-handed in its use as to deserve that derogatory label. This song is simply infectious. Chiller and Blood Island are two tracks off of this album that fit right in with the spooky and horror-tinged motif of that particular subgenre of surf guitar, the spooky horror surf guitar, okay? But I want to focus mainly on Blood Island here for my last selection that I'm going to share with you. There are a lot of different influences on this album across the board. I hear, Lost Straitjackets. I hear some classic Pyramids on here. There are a lot of varied influences that the Dell Vipers wear proudly upon their sleeves, okay? But there is one that jumps out to me on this track that is completely unexpected. And I had to listen to it several times to say, I'm hearing what I'm hearing, right? Okay. What really jumps out to me here is a Syd Barrett era Pink Floyd element on Blood Island. Listen to this, okay? Listen to this sample of the song and tell me you don't hear a homage to Interstellar Overdrive. I'm not just hearing things, right? You heard it too. That's absolutely an echo of Pink Floyd. See what I did there? Early in their career, before David Gilmour joined and they went in a different direction. Now, that's one of the great things about this album that I really, really enjoy, is that none of these tracks sound the same. Okay, you know the feeling when you're listening to a surf guitar album, and no matter how good, how talented the musicians are, all of the tracks kind of sound the same and blend into each other. You know that feeling that the individual tracks are technically perfect, but don't really have any individual identity of their own? That's not the case here. I looked it up, and Ross Ott, the lead guitarist, wrote and produced every track on this album. Okay, he changes things up from instrumental to instrumental that your listening attention never drifts. Okay, that's no small accomplishment in this day and age. There has been so much surf guitar music recorded over the decades, literally, that he can come up and put a fresh spin on it, simply deserves applause. Okay, now I'm going to link the Dell Vipers Bandcamp page down below so you can go and show them some love. When you support these bands by buying their music, you're encouraging them to make more music, and I think we all benefit from that. It's a win-win situation. So if you can, if you're able, seek them out. I really think it's worthwhile, and I hope you enjoy the album, because I know I sure as heck did. So thank you for letting me hold forth a little bit and expound upon this little slice of Tiki adjacent music. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep tikiing your ears off.